Good day, everyone. Father Neil Dadey here once again to be with you on this first Friday of the season of Advent. In today's gospel, in the liturgy, a man born blind calls out to Jesus, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And he calls out, "I want to see." And Jesus, feeling sorry for him in a good way, having pity on him, gives his sight. And a man goes off rejoicing with the warning, "Do not tell anyone about this." I don't see how he could not. If he was blind and now he's healed, if it was me, I know I would have told everybody. But that's not the point. The point would be Jesus restoring sight to a man born blind. And isn't that really what our spiritual journey is all about, our whole life? Is receiving the sight, not physical necessarily, but the sight of faith. Faith to see Jesus. Faith to live him. Faith to follow him. Faith to tell others about him, which is basically evangelization. Faith that tells people of his love, of his goodness, of his kindness. And so the Lord will give that faith to those who ask for it. You know, I'm reading a book now by Father James Martin, a Jesuit, entitled Everything About the Jesuit Philosophy or something like that. I forget the title off the top of my head. But it's a book on Ignatius of Loyola and his spiritual exercises. And Father Martin reminds us that one of the main points in the Ignatian exercises is to see God in all things. In the mundane as well as the spectacular. The simple as well as the complex. The happy as well as the sad. To see God in all times, in all places, in every circumstance. And that's the gift of faith that he gives to us to see. Yes, he gave the physical sight to the man born blind, but he's willing and able and wants to give us the gift of sight in faith, to see him in every circumstance of our life, to see his providence, to see his guidance, to see his love, to see him present there with us, that we're never alone. And let me tell you, that's very hard to do. It's very difficult. Yes, it's so good and wonderful to see God in everything when things are great, when things are going our way, when things are just absolutely superb. It's easy to see God, to thank God, to know that he's there. But that's not true faith. True faith is seeing God in those moments when it is darkest. True faith is seeing God in those moments when we have doubts. True faith is realizing God is there, even in the moments of criticisms that we face as priests, as lay people, as Catholics. To see God in those moments as well. For in those dark moments, there is a tendency in our life. We can either turn inward and settle on ourselves, or we can turn outward and settle in God. And with God, when we see him in those darkest moments of despair, of hopelessness, of those issues in our life that we struggle with in our sinfulness, even if we see God and when we see God in our sinfulness, he is there to bring us light, joy, happiness, forgiveness. And that's what I think this Advent season can call us to do. One of the characteristics is hope. Hope is Advent season theme. May that theme be part of our life when we ask for God to see him in all things. Let that be our prayer this Advent season. Let it be a time that we do follow him, not just in the good, upbeat, happy moments, but even in the more difficult, sad, and down moments, to make that act of faith. Because when we do, that is true faith, because we're loving God without the consolations of God. And that is what draws us closer to him. So during this Advent season, when we're faced with so many things, Let us never lose sight of God in them at all. He's our strength. He's our courage. He's the one that will always be with us and never leave us alone. So, this Advent, ask him for that gift of sight. Lord, I want to see. I want to see with the eyes of faith. God bless, take care, and have a beautiful Advent season.